thing called tuna sashimi? 3, 2, 1.
Back again. This is game number 3 on the 12 Games Christmas. This is ESCHATOS on the Xbox 360. This is vertical scrolling shmup that happens to have 3 games in one on the disc, which is fantastic. Really good fun games these are, and I'll go through what's actually on the disc. So if I go back to the main screen. Right then, so what you do, there's 3 games. You get ESCHATOS, which is the new modern version, and you get 2 Wondersworn games, Judgment Silversword and Cardinal Sins. So we'll start with these. I'll show you a little bit of both of these. I say the Wondersworn, if you didn't know, was a Japanese handheld. It had quite a lot of games onto it, and probably 2 of the most expensive games on the machine now. Judgment Silversword and Cardinal Sins. And I gotta admit, these are pretty amazing shoot-em-ups. Both of them are very good. So we'll start with Judgment Silversword. Right then, with this one, it's vertical scrolling again, as you can see. Just normal shot, you've got 2 different fiery weapons, and you've got a shield as well. I say these games may look a little bit on the old simple side, but they're far from that. There's a lot of scoring sort of systems in these games. I'm still myself not sure exactly how a lot of it works. A lot of it's time bonus, a lot of it is depending on when you actually shoot the enemies, and there's a lot of nuances to it anyway, put it that way. It's a very good shoot 'em up, this is very good indeed. Don't let the visuals put you off a bit, that this game is very good, and you can't fault it on this pack having these games on you. So you basically shoot the enemies, try and go for the best score as possible, collect extra lives as you go up the screen. Everything is chucked thrown at you, or die and just do silly bullets like I just did then. So that's the first game. So I do like Judgment Silversword quite a bit. What's quite cool about this is I think if you play it for about 15 hours and you get a certain high score on it, it'll unlock Japanese super replays on you, and that's got a replay of probably the best guy in the world on this, basically getting the best score possible. I haven't actually seen that replay myself yet, because I haven't actually unlocked it. But I think you've got to play it for about 15 hours and then get a certain score to actually get it. So that'll take you quite a while to actually unlock that, and a bit of practice. And by then you should be pretty damn good at it as well. So yeah, it's just got it's lots of little different levels and little bosses and things like that in this game. And got to watch a lot of these. They got terrible. Because I'm invincible, I'm going to stay with it. Get a little bit of invincibility when you start off as well. And pretty much that's Judgment Silversword. I say if you have got a Wondersworn in this, all I can say is you lucky bugger. So I never actually played it on the Wondersworn, but it's pretty much exactly like this. Anyway, so we'll cancel that one out. I say ESCHATOS is pretty much the sequel to this and Cardinal Sins. So we'll go on to Cardinal Sins. At first glance, this one looks very similar to the other game, but it's quite different. It's basically on this one you've got all the sins, like agony, sort of gluttony, can't think of the other sins actually, greed and all that. And what that means is each one of those levels on this game means a different scoring system and a different way to score. I can't remember exactly which one's which, but there's one where you've got to let the screen fill up with as many bullets as possible before actually shooting down the enemies. And there's ones where you've got to collect extra lives, which is the next stage. I'll show you that. You've got to make sure you don't shoot them, and you get points from them. I think the first stage is basically shoot as much as possible. With these things as well, the later you shoot them, you get like a bonus. You can get up to like a ×10 scoring bonus on them. But this game is quite clever. It's just trying to work out exactly the best way to score on it. And you know, this and Judgment Silversword become very addictive when you start playing them. Extremely addictive. You can just keep playing them and playing them. Sloth, right. On this one, I've got to collect these extra lives, but I've got to be careful. You can shoot them when they blow up. So you've got to be careful as trying to collect as many as possible without actually shooting them. That was quite tricky and he died on that one then. Doing well so far. Got to collect as many as possible and shoot as many enemies as you can. I almost killed that. Ooh, that's it. Got it. Doing quite well here. Ah, I missed it. That's a shame. I was doing quite well then. So I basically collected many of those extra lives as possible. Got A rank, that's quite nice. And then greed now. This is one I'm not quite sure exactly what you've got to do on. The shield comes in very, very handy, as you may have noticed. But anyway guys, that's Cardinal Sins, which is also excellent. I say that this pack is fantastic value for money. Right, this is on to the modern version. This is ESCHATOS. Basically it's like a sequel to those two games. So we'll start this up. Right, what you got in this is you've got 3 different modes. You've got a time attack, which is quite cool. Time attack modes can be very addictive, by the way. Sorry guys, I had something in my throat then. You've got the original mode, which is the arcade one. Pretty much the same as the advanced mode. And then you've got the advanced mode, which is slightly different to the arcade. You've got you can power your weapons up even more, and I think there's some subtle differences. But they're both very similar. Right, and now you've got the modern version of those games. This one has got some sort of scoring system. I'm not quite sure exactly what it is, but it's not quite like the other games. This is more of a straight shooter. But this game is brilliant. I love ESCHATOS, and I even go as far as saying ESCHATOS is one of the best shmups on the 360. I know the 360 got all the cave games, and I've got them. I love the cave games, they're brilliant. But ESCHATOS is definitely up there with one of the best games on the machine. Especially with the value of this, with the free games. It's like my mate, he loves this, but he loves Judgment Silver Sword and Cardinal Sin, and he reckons that they are the main games on this pack, and ESCHATOS is just the bonus game, where I think ESCHATOS is the main game and the others two are the bonuses. But that's a subtle difference between us, I suppose. But I reckon all 3 games are amazing. So we'll play this for a little bit. Let's see if we can get to the first boss. So we've got a thing on this, is when you actually start the game up as well, it defaults you to the easy setting, which is okay to learn it, but you want to be playing it on normal and above. And if you have a look on YouTube, there's a wicked super play of it actually on the hard mode, and that's quite impressive, guys. Ooh, extra life. Because as the hard mode says, the hard mode is pretty hard. Cool. Yeah, I would say with this one over the original, you can actually get more power-ups. So you can power your weapons up a little bit more, which is pretty cool. So they start seeing, you know, covering the screen quite a bit. You also got the shield, as you are in the other modes as well. Here we go. Can't be far off the boss. I think there's 20 odd areas on this game. Thing is, you've got to keep collecting the power-ups as well, because your power-up will go down a little bit. So it keeps it interesting. We've got to keep collecting as many power-ups as possible. Now I got the full power-up, I think this is. There we go. See if we can actually get to the boss and defeat him before I end this video. You're this sort of one bullet on screen, which is so easy to dodge. What happened? You end up killing yourself. And again. You got to blow all the side things off this ship. That's it. Here we go. Defeat this bit, and you've done the boss then. Cool. That's the first boss done. So we'll stop it there. Alright guys, that's ESCHATOS on the 360. Say it comes with Cardinal Sins and Judgment Silver Sword. I reckon it's a fantastic value for money, and if you love shmups, you really need to get hold of this. Good thing about it is you can pick this up from Play Asia for about 18 to 20 quid on the Wonder Price version, and it's region free as well, so it'll work on any 360. So you can't fault. If you love shmups, you need to sort of get hold of this game because it's very, very good. And you play this over Christmas, it'll last you all over Christmas and far beyond, and you'll keep coming back to it. So anyway guys, that's game number 3. So I'll see you tomorrow now in game number 4. I wonder what it'll be. Right then, bye guys.